All right, so we finally figured this out.
Finally got it?
Right, it only took us like 38 tries.
Only 38.
Only 38. And so you've been kind of adding some content to the LoveSpeaks page called The Sparrow's Cry.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yes. Yep. The Sparrow's Cry.
I always think of, but there's part of me that always thinks of like the Prince song When Doves Cry. And so I have to kind of like get back into my head about that. But so the way this kind of came about, because I know people have asked, like, who's Sarah? Who's this girl? Who's that girl? And so they've, is it like being back in the school? Just as rambunctious, right?
Yeah.
But like social distance ministry school. And so we've known each other for a bit, and you were one of my students, and I saw this devotional that you were posting. And I was like, wow, this is really good. I like this content. It's not like my voice. It's so different than what my voice is, but it carries the love of the Father. And I was like, man, I like this. Like, because obviously I'm not going to use things like fur babies and stuff like that. And like, I don't say that sort of thing, but you do. And I was like, this is great. I like this. And so I reached out to you. I was like, hey, like, would you want to add your devotional to the LoveSpeaks page?
Right.
And you're like, yeah, and you weren't looking for, you were just doing something that the Lord put on your heart.
Well, what I thought was so profound when you said that earlier was, people sometimes have the intention of doing things to be seen and then to be like, and have a platform. And I thought it was so profound that you were like, you weren't looking for it. You weren't searching it. You were just doing what the Lord had called you to do. And it reminds me of like Esther. Esther didn't go looking for a way into the palace. She was just exactly where she was supposed to be, doing what she was supposed to be doing. And the Lord like brought her. So I thought that was really profound that you said that earlier.
Yeah, no, it's, I think that like when we're doing stuff to kind of create a platform, our hearts, the Lord knows our heart. And there's even times where he knows our heart, but even in the midst of that, he'll still allow things just because he's good.
Amen.
And so I had asked you, I was like, well, what do you want to call this thing? I mean, like, I'm doubting we're going to call it like Sarah and fur babies. And, and that's when you came up with, like, you threw a few names at me, and then you kind of landed on the Sparrow's Cry. Yeah. Why that?
So my heart behind that, one time I was listening to this minister, and they were talking about sparrows and how nothing makes a sparrow stand out from another sparrow. They sound the same. They look the same. They, they're just the same. And the Lord in the Word, he says, I know every sparrow that falls from the sky. And so if he knows every sparrow and they all look the same and there's nothing unique about a single one, like how much more does he know, me and you, and how much more intimate is he with us? Like, I just thought that was so beautiful. And so I wanted to be able to bring that into what he's like put on my heart. And, there were moments in my life, when we have siblings, sometimes we're like, nothing makes me stand out, like my siblings and all this and all that. And it's like, no, it was like, he was like, no, like, I know you so personally, and I know you so deeply and so uniquely. And so I really wanted something that was going to be a little unique. And so that's kind of where it came from.
Now, see, I didn't know all the background behind the name.
Yeah.
I just liked it because I was like, that's unique. That's different. It's kind of edgy. People have a lot of sparrow tattoos. And so, but like having that context of the name, and like, even if the Lord knows a single sparrow falls to the ground, how much more does he know you and I? And I think that encapsulates the message of LoveSpeaks, is being like, the Lord knows you and it's drawing you in. It's drawing you in. And so this isn't scripted or anything, because these are questions I had, in general. And so how did even starting, I know you're just being obedient to what the Lord's asked you to do, but how did the whole starting the devotional start?
Right. So actually a couple of years ago, I would just randomly get these just small revelations of, the Lord would speak to me through the way I was taking care of my dog, or I can remember one in particular. It was nighttime. And so my dog was going, I was like, go to bed. And see, I didn't have to tell her where to go lay down. She knew where to go and find rest. And the Lord brought me to Psalms 23 and, just about how, he calls us to rest, to lay down in green pastures and stuff. And so I just started taking these little, I call them God kisses, what he would share with me, and just apply it and let him write through me. And I would post it to Facebook, but I wasn't very intentional about it. It wasn't something that I was doing constantly. It was just kind of here, there, yonder. And now I'm trying, I'm being more intentional. I'm saying, no, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do one daily. Generally I'll take a Sunday off or something, but generally I try to do one a day.
I'm really glad that we didn't call it the Lord's kisses. I'm just saying. I would have done it because it's your thing, and it's and that's, and you can, the people that will eventually hear this, you can tell them if they're wrong, but that was it was always my heart to empower people in the school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when they were reluctant to be empowered. I remember specifically that you and one of the other students, a close friend of yours, didn't want to do any public prophetic ministry.
Yeah.
Because I had issued a challenge to go live and minister to people publicly. And you were like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We're shy. And in thinking that it would be the easy way out, I said, well, I'll make a Facebook status and I'll tag you guys in it. Make your profiles public for this. And I think I actually had to eventually make the privacy setting on that specific post, where no one can see it now, because if I don't, people will still comment. And, but I think you guys had close to 700 people.
It was a lot. And I just kept scrolling and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was almost overwhelming, but it was, it pulled us out of our comfort zones, and it showed us, hey, we do hear the voice of the Lord, and we can, speak what he's showing us.
Yeah. And it'll teach you. Next time, just go live.
Just listen. just listen.
Just go live. And so now, what would you say is the overarching message or goal in this devotional that you're doing?
I think it's just to draw close to the Father, and just spend some time with him throughout the day, and say, I'm going to set this time aside. I'm going to, read and dig in, and I'm going to see, what the Lord is showing me, and just be proactive in setting, a certain amount of time aside and just being with the Lord. Sorry, my phone is about to die. It's on 20% now. I told you, it's literally, I need a new phone.
It happens. And so the idea is ultimately to get people closer to the Lord, which is a great point, obviously. And that's the idea with LoveSpeaks, is it's kind of like an evangelistic ministry to the church, to draw people back to the heart of God. And so that the heart of God can begin to do what it does best, and loving people and bringing true life change. Now, let me ask you this, and we'll kind of close up with this, is when you get to day 31, what happens?
Well, I kind of think I want to make it a year thing. So 365 days. And it's just, going to the Lord and just, I don't want to stop, because the Lord doesn't stop speaking to me. So I don't want to stop sharing what he's sharing with me. I want, I want people to hear what he's saying, because it matters. And I think that's like my thing to, the people that'll be watching this is release what he's placed in you, because people are going to need it, and they need the individuality that God placed in them. They need to release it in the world. The world needs it.
That's so good. That's actually really, really good. Like, whoever taught you this stuff, which is the Lord, not me. But no, it's really good. Like, I love coming back years later and seeing the growth in that. And it wasn't just because it was all like cupcakes and daisies,
right?
But there were trying times, trying seasons in your life. Yeah. And the Lord's gentleness and kindness, which brought you to this place. Now, just like, what's the takeaway that you want people to grab, like, with this? Kind of more of like, what would be your closing thought?
Just how much he knows and loves the one, because like I was saying just a few minutes ago, sometimes when we have siblings, we think, oh, I'm being looked over, or oh, this, or oh, that. And it's like, no, like, you're so loved and you're so known. And I think that's my thing, is just knowing, like, you're known and you're loved. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's like, no, really, like, you're not looked over and you're not second best, you're loved. And so I feel like that's what the Lord is like releasing. And those are my closing.
That's it's, I think it was actually either your class or the following class where the Lord told me I wasn't allowed to actually write the book on what I called the love equation. Yeah. And it's because there was still so much more to learn. Right. And so I love just that's where the Lord's bringing you with that. Mm-hmm. Would you just pray for people watching, and then we'll close it out? Absolutely. So Lord, I thank you for everyone that is watching this, Father. And I thank you for how passionately and how deeply and just amazingly that you love each and every one of us, Lord. And I thank you for the gifts and the talents, Lord, that you've placed in your people. And I thank you, maybe if they haven't even been stirred yet, or that they don't know that's there, Lord, I thank you that you would begin to pull it out. And Father, I thank you that for words that you've spoken over them in the past, that maybe they haven't bared fruit, Lord, I thank you that they will begin to bear fruit in those words, Lord. I thank you that they would passionately pursue you, Father, and as they pursue you, they would birth the things that you're placing in them. And Lord, I thank you that your word says to do things with a pure heart. So I thank you that as we pursue you with a pure heart, Lord, that your will would be done and that your kingdom would come in each of our lives, Lord. And it's in your precious name I pray, Jesus. Amen. Come on. I love that. Well, Sarah, thank you so much. I love just what you're doing. And if you haven't seen it, it's a daily post on the LoveSpeaks Facebook page where you can see everything there. She posted on her account as well. Mm-hmm. But the most public platform will be the LoveSpeaks Facebook page. So if you want more information, you can go to lovespeaks.io. And that will link you to, that's the main website, but it'll link you to our Facebook page and everywhere else. But thank you guys. And thank you so much, Sarah. We'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Thanks so much.